guys, what is up? Fly here. Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I stitched together a new ship that they announced on the Gamescom stream today. This is the UK Fairmile D601695. They were talking about it being a torpedo boat and a gunboat. The one we're seeing today is the gunboat. However, they said that there would be a torpedo version or a torpedo boat in the game as well. So just to bring to light what you'll see today is a 40mm autocannon in the front and then 20mm in the rear. Throughout the gameplay, I think towards the end of the gameplay, there will be a depth charge drop. And I want to hear your guys' opinions on that, because on the stream, they're like, yeah, this will be used to get away from enemy ships and maybe hurt enemy ships on your tail. And I'm just like, bullshit. I think there's going to be subs in, but what do you guys think? And then after the gameplay, they'll give an historical account of the Fairmile. But without further ado, hope you guys enjoy. Here we go.
That's why I couldn't get the OBS. That was actually the OBS. It's called. It does badly at capturing full screen. Well, applications sometimes, so you gotta go full screen window, and then it works. I present to you the Fairmile D motor torpedo boat, the dog boat, otherwise called. And it's nice evening here, and we're presumably somewhere around England. This kind of looks like the cliffs of Dover. And here we have. This is the first time for me seeing this boat. I was just showing this boat like 10 minutes ago. So Fairmile is actually the biggest of all the ships we're presenting today at their release. Just look at this thing. 29 people of crew 29. I mean, seriously, look at this. It's like four guys on the bridge, two machine gunners with Lucas machine guns, then a big cannon over here. Let this thing go. And it's fast for a boat of this size. It is really, really fast. It's almost as fast as the BT-109. It steers really well. So in terms of mobility, it's kind of in between the 1124, and Soviet 1124, and the America's 109. Just love the firepower of this thing. It's gorgeous. So twin 20s, I think. These are twin 20s in the back. Main gun in the front. So this should be the 40mm. That's the 40mm autocannon in the front, and a bunch of machine guns all over the place. This is good. I love this. It's almost as fast as the BT-109, but it's much, much bigger. Naturally, this thing's got to be tougher, simply because of all the modules. You know, it's spread so wide apart, and also see the 4 engines. So that thing's going to be really hard to stop, and lots of crew. This is good, but okay, you have to understand that these came in two varieties. Fairmiles, I mean. Some of them were gunboats, like this one, and some were torpedo boats. Okay, so this one is a gunboat, precisely the gunboat modification. Okay, now let's move on to the historical section. Okay, just a second. Oh, okay, sorry. Make volume low. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Hold on a second. Okay. Is this any better now? This should be better. Okay, testing. Let's see. I'm sorry, I wasn't really looking in the chat. Okay, we're going backwards. Alright, is this any better now? Louder. Okay, louder. Sounds good. Okay. So this is, okay, that's good. Much better. Perfect. Okay, just a second. Okay. Look at this thing in more detail since there's now we got more light. I can't really zoom in on the bridge. Well, I kind of can, but you have to understand this is still work in progress, and you know, some or most of the stuff is still subject to change, so it will most certainly be improved upon release. Just a second. Alright, here we go. Yeah, it takes a while for, you know, for the guns to turn, but not as fast as you might expect. Alright. Alright, there we go. Okay, I think that should be enough. Let's take a look at the historical section of this. We go, and this is Fairmile D motor torpedo boat. Well, this is not a torpedo boat. This is a gunboat modification of it. That's the earlier version of it, because the actual Fairmile torpedo boats were essentially an upgraded version of the very same boat. So as you see inside, this has the biggest crew of all three at 29 people, 29 sailors. So a handful of officers included. And I just love firing this thing. Just look at it. A 40mm autocannon in the front, on the bow, the proper naval term, and in the stern, 220s. These are 220s and 8 machine guns. So 4 large caliber machine guns, high caliber machine guns, and 4 rifle caliber machine guns for anti-aircraft duties. This is gorgeous. And surprisingly, even though this thing is actually larger than the Project 1124, it's twice as fast. It's twice as fast, and with that 40 in the front, I think it's capable of taking on whatever the 1124 can throw at it. So, but I guess that all comes down to experience. Maybe we're going to see. This is just my assumptions. It's kind of slower in terms of handling than the PT-109 given its size, but it's a lot more agile craft than 1124. I absolutely love it. What you're looking at, these sacks, I think that's armor. That's armor for the gunners. Kind of like a flak armor or something. Okay, and these are depth charges that I just launched. As you can see, they blow live. I think you can use them to just drop them in the water and use these depth charges to get the enemy off your tail, hopefully. So there you go. This is Fairmile D. Now, okay, let's talk history. Because, you know, we all know you're in it for the history. Okay, so we begin our acquaintance with the British naval forces with the famous early series Fairmile Model D motor torpedo boats. Throughout 1941, engineers of Britain's Royal Navy were busy developing and testing new types of gunboats and torpedo gunboats in order to design a countermeasure against the German Schnellboots. I hope I read it correctly. Fast torpedo boats that were interfering with the operations of British military and merchant vessels in the English Channel. The requirements advanced for the vessel were perfectly clear. The boat was intended as a universal platform to carry powerful armaments of various types, and it also had to possess a speed of no less than 30 knots, so as to at least stand a chance of counteracting the fast-moving German naval predators. In the course of testing, the shipbuilders came to the conclusion that the perfect platform would be a boat with an angular bow and stern, but also with a rounded bottom that could house 4 screw propellers. Its design was also compatible with military manufacturing of the time. Boats of this series were being produced and upgraded from earlier Fairmiles at small wharfs along the shores of Great Britain. And so the Fairmile D Universal Gun/Torpedo Boat was born, and immediately dubbed Duck Boat by the sailors. This nickname was clearly inspired by the model letter, but as it turned out, the Fairmile became a true guard dog of the English Channel. The Fairmile D was one of the most widely produced boats of the Second World War. The various production series differed primarily in their armament. The cannon and machine gun weaponry was also significantly improved, as well as torpedo tubes and depth charges began to appear on the boat with time. Many gunboats were modernized into torpedo gunboats. Today's guest is the Fairmile D Early Series motor torpedo boat. It is a rather large vessel, as we've seen previously, measuring 35 meters in length, equipped with 4 engines with a combined power of 5,000 horsepower. So that's a lot of horsepower to go around. Providing a maximum speed of 32 knots, a little less than 60 kilometers an hour. The boat was armed with one automatic 40 millimeter. You see, I was right. It is a 40 millimeter 2-pounder Mark II sea cannon on the bow, twin 20mm autocannon on the stern, and 2 twin high-caliber machine guns. Also 2 twin rifle-caliber machine guns. So, yeah, a lot of weaponry on that boat. This version of the boat carried no torpedoes, but had a pair of Mark VII depth charges. Yeah, they're in the back. I totally forgot to fire those. In our game, the early series Fairmile D is a floating gun battery, essentially. Her main strength is her automated cannons, whose ammunition almost completely consists of high explosive fragmentation shells. So naturally, this thing, was meant to take out other boats. Her 3 cannons provide good fire coverage and maximum efficiency when firing at both sides. The machine guns also provide decent support to the cannons. There are a whole 8 of them in total. 8 machine guns, that's no joke. The boat has average speed, low maneuverability, and virtually no armor. Only the gunners have bulletproof defenses. So Fairmile's captain has to take care of the safety of the crew and the vessel as a whole. But then again, you got lots of crew to spare because 29 guys, that's a lot. On the War Thunder's battlefield, the Fairmile takes the role of a heavy fire support boat. Take care of the Brit on your team, and the cannons and machine guns of Fairmile will save you and your teammates when you need it the most. It is rare that a new concept in ship construction, even in war, can be developed and brought into production quickly so that it makes a significant contribution to the war effort. But that is the truth behind the story of the Fairmile D's class motor torpedo boats and motor gunboats, often known as dog boats. They were initially conceived in 1941 with specific purpose of combating the highly regarded E-boats, which had high-speed diesel engines given a top speed of over 40 knots. Strangely, although the Schnellboot were known in the German Navy as S-boats, they were always classed as E-boats within the Allied command, since the E standing rather quaintly for enemy. The dog boats began to emerge from boatyards of Britain in the spring of 1942. By the end of the war, they were regarded as the most heavily armed motorboats in the navies of the world. Even better armed than PT-109s. Powerful, capable of long-range operations and of sustained independence. There were a whole 228 of them were built, and they operated in home waters off Norway and in the Mediterranean with equal success. Their crews displayed and still reveal a strong bond of loyalty for their boats and shipmates. Perhaps this bond was due in large part to the closeness with which the 3 officers and 30 men lived, crammed in a 115 feet plywood hull alongside 4 massive supercharged engines and thousands of gallons of 100-octane petrol. There was no segregation here. The officers and the crew lived within feet of each other and shared the same food. So unlike on larger vessels and ships, these guys were really packed and, crammed in together really, really close. So overall, the dock boats fought in over 300 actions and sank or damaged innumerable, a whole lot of enemy ships. 37 of them were lost, mostly in battle or destroyed by mines as they ventured through the minefields to launch those close attacks on the enemy's coasts. These then were the vessels and the men in history of human endeavor during the war. So, yeah, this is it. This is Fairmile D. Fairmile D. What do you think about it? What do you guys think about it? In comparison to the PT-109 and the Soviet 1124 project.